So you understand, these people are special to me, and I think I'm special to them. And I think what people don't realize is that when I talk about relationships being important, this is why I do what I do. I don't have to do anything but call them and say, show up please, and they'll be here. Not because they feel that it's their duty, but because they enjoy the experience of sharing their life and sharing their relationship.
Well, I kind of approach life like I'm not results oriented. I'm more about enjoying the journey. And I think that's why I love working with you so much and love class so much, because in the work it's about the journey and not the result of the story or where you have to end up in the slice of life. It's enjoying the deliciousness of getting there, you know. And it's made me enjoy the work so much more. I love to audition. I love the process. I'm so in love with it, and I think that helps to take any pressure off of myself.
You know, I think the Chicago film market is different than LA. I think the big difference between Chicago theater and film, and LA is that the community is so small in Chicago. I mean, if you're working at a certain level of theater, you know everybody. I mean, you know all the players in all the big houses. And so there's a lot of freedom. You can go in and be like, oh, hey Jason, how are you? Do I have kids? You know, things are going well. And you can play a little more. Here, and not that I have the experience that these guys do, having just gotten here, but my experience is that when I walk into a casting director's office, it's the Olympics and I need to nail it, like right then. They need you to come in and give them your best take right away. And that's, I think, frankly, the minimum that a professional can do.
You're playing with the big guys now.
Yeah.
What's the difference between auditioning here and in England? You know?
Wow, the process is hugely different here. First of all, just when you go in to audition in London, everyone's friendly. Everyone chats to you. Everyone's like, what are you doing for this? Do you want to run the scene? La 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 la.
Really? You guys like work it in the room?
Yeah, totally.
That's actually cool.
And you come out here and everyone's like this. Giving you the good old eye up and down. I'm like, oh God. And it's a lot more pressure when you walk into the room. But you kind of feel, when you get the auditions in LA, you kind of feel special that you've even gotten there, you know, because everyone wants to come here and be in Hollywood, you know. So it kind of makes you feel good when you walk in the first place, because they're seeing you. You know,
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Tell us about the audition.
It was like, it came in at like 8 o'clock that night, and it was for like 3 o'clock the next day, and I called up Margie, and we worked on it just for like 30 minutes. We just worked on it for like 30 minutes, and then I went over there. Yeah, and it, you know, I was like in and out. I had fun, and I really owned the material, and I did one read of it, and it was actually my first time meeting this casting director. And she said, oh, that was great. You know, she's like, you're so funny. She's like, do you want to do another one? And I was like, okay, sure. You know, do you have any notes? And she was like, no, just have fun, you know. And I just did it again, and I left, and I forgot about it, as I tend to do with most auditions. I was literally out of my head as soon as I leave the room. And then I found out a few days later that I was pinned.
You know, putting a pin on a map, it means like they like you, they're interested, they're about to, you know, either hold you or make a decision on whether they're going to cast you or not. It's like the step before they cast you. You're pinned.
And then I found out that I booked it a couple days later.
I come from a theatre background, so I've always been memorising my stuff. I can't look at anything without memorising it. I have a photographic memory, so it just immediately pages are down. I'm really lucky like that, but since being with Margie, I like to keep my paper there, because it feels more professional actually when you can sing. And in London they like you to memorise everything. You know, it's never been like you can go in with your script and kind of read it to them. I've always had to have it all down.
Manager. I got a manager. I don't think there's a right answer in the sense of manager before agent, agent before manager. You know, a manager can help facilitate you finding an agent, but you know, I don't think it matters technically which one you get first. I had a manager first before I had an agency, and technically a manager's job is to help manage your career. That's their idea, right? In a sense, hopefully, you know, they will have a smaller clientele than maybe your agency does, even though you might have a big management company that has a lot of people, but it's generally a little more hands-on. They're looking to manage your career. They're looking maybe for like a 3-year investment. Some people, sometimes even more, depending on how they base their contracts. Whereas like an agent, you know, you're one of hundreds sometimes. I mean, you still have hopefully a bit of a relationship with them, but my relationship with all of my agents is very different than my relationship with my management company. Like with my management company, it's very personal. It's very, you know, it's very hands-on. Whereas my agent, you know, I'm close with it. You know, we know each other. You know, that type of thing. But at the same time, it's not the same.
I started out with a manager who I'm still with and I love, and had kept me very busy before I had an agent in New York. This is when I was in New York, and got me into the different offices. I think it's important if you sign with the manager, especially if you don't have an agent, you know, make sure it's a good one that has relationships with casting directors that can get you in the room, that has clients that are working.
Ask you guys, because you've been with me, you know, some of you new, some of you old. What is it that you have gotten the most, that you bring with you? Maybe it's in your daily life, in your work, that have helped you in, you know, as you've worked with me.
I was so concerned with knowing the lines and what was written and, you know, what I'm reading and all that kind of stuff, that I forgot about all the stuff that's in between the lines and the moments, and that's really the most interesting stuff, right? And the connection to the person, and that's everything. That's what they're going to cast off of, probably. I mean, you should, obviously, like she says, say what's there, but bring you into it. Don't lose you.
In Chicago, most of my training was through Meisner and Meisner-based kind of stuff. I did that for years, and I did some stuff with Suzuki and Viewpoints, especially because Chicago's a big viewpoint town. And I felt like, I mean, I was a good actor before I came here, but I think that I have been able to find self-acceptance and like integrity in the situation, so that when I'm in an audition, whatever is there is what's there, and I'm not worried about some conceptual framework of where the story is going and, you know, what it should be. I'm able to just really be present, and I think that it has, God, I just think it's made me so much better. I've never, I mean, not to say that I'm some great actor, but I have never in my career been as good as I am right now. I've never in my career been as good as I am right now, and it's because of Margie Haber.
Realized in this class specifically that the thing that I love to do the most is actually the thing that I do the least of, which is act. It's the thing I do the least of. When I started approaching auditions with that mindset, and that happened for me in this class, how much it changed everything for me. Because I realized that someone's asking me to act today. Someone's asking me to do what I love for 5 minutes at 3 o'clock. And that completely changes my thought process on it. It's the thing that I do the least of, and it's the thing that I absolutely love the most, as cliche as that sounds, but I feel comfortable saying it because I think, obviously, we're probably all in the same boat, hence we're in this room, right? And I think that that's what this class has given me, is that different change of focus. That, you know, it's not just an audition. Like, I don't have to get the job. Someone's literally saying, like, I want to see you act today.
Tell us about what you experienced with me.
So I'm really excited to just suddenly feel like I'm enough. When I walk into the room, I'm bringing myself to you, and you've seen 1,000 other people doing the same thing, but they're not me. And they haven't lived the experiences I've lived, you know. And that's what I'm bringing. That's what's going to be different. You're a unique person, and that's what you need to bring into the room.
And my work and what I do is base everything on, I am this person living this life, and the other person is more important than myself. And it's a tough thing when you're worried about yourself, when you're worried about going in the room, and you're worried about booking, you lose the journey of life that we all here have experienced. And thank you guys very much.